to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And I'm going to give you, and you, probably the best advice that you can use, both in your reselling business and life. And that's simply 2 words. Know yourself. And I think that those 2 words, if you follow that, will save you from so much trouble in life, but definitely in reselling. What do you think I mean by that, Mr. Magazine?
Well, I really would like to know.
Well, thank you.
Know what you like, something like that. Like
know your capabilities and know your weaknesses.
Okay.
And we're shooting this before you've done your first whatnot.
Again.
So you will have done it when this views, when people view this, you will have done it. What are your feelings on whatnot in general?
Well, hopefully it proves me wrong. Like when you asked me to do this show a couple years ago, I had the same type of feelings because I'm not very talkative usually. I'm more, when I'm around people I don't know, I'm very quiet and reserved. And then when I get drunk, that's a different story.
That's a whole other worry.
Anyways, but like I don't know, I don't have the big words that I'm gonna throw around and stuff. Sometimes I stumble on my words, so I get a little self-conscious and insecure about that. And then once I get used to it like this now, it comes second nature to me. It's a lot easier and more fun than it was 2 years ago. And same with whatnot. I'm worried about what I'm going to say. Is it going to make sense? Am I going to sound stupid? Are people going to like me? That type of stuff. So we'll just see how it goes.
Let me ask you this. Assuming sales aren't, you don't do $10,000 in your first show, because then for $10,000 you'll learn to deal with it.
Yeah, right. I'll do a marathon the next day.
Exactly. But say your sales are paltry. Over, under a number of shows you do before you pull the plug, if you're doing like my first couple of shows were.
Well, I wanted to transition. Well, I wanted to continue doing comics, and I wanted one of my employees to do cards. That's my goal. So, once a week for both of them. And if it goes great or we build up to better, and I would like to keep increasing the items or lots to make more money. So, obviously, like you, we might only do 50, 30, 50, 80, 100, whatever, and that's fine. But I kind of want to live and learn and say, hey, how can I want to make more money. I have 100,000 comics probably. So I want to what can I do to sell these comics to make more? If that means 2 hours, or if that makes 10 comic lots, I'll do what I got to do and see what makes me happy. But if I'm doing an hour of prep work, an hour on the show, and I'm making $30 for 2 months straight, I'm probably gonna say I don't get any subscribers or followers or whatever. I might say, geez, maybe this isn't for me, or let my employee take over. Maybe he's better at it, or they like him better, or he can advertise on Facebook for it. I don't know, but we'll see. I definitely don't want to quit after the first couple. I've seen you do it, and it's good you're plugging away and getting better and increasing. So, I think I'll do the same thing.
And that's where you've got the employee potentially to have do it, because right. That you may not want to do it. It may not be
right.
into your strengths. I know myself that certainly the first one, and I would like to again thank Random Neighborhood Kid for having missed, or we went to work late just to be able to make sure that the thing went off.
Yeah.
I know myself. My fear on any of this stuff is technical difficulties.
True.
Because I don't know how to handle them.
Right,
I don't have any clue whatsoever.
Yeah.
If the microphone's out, I don't know what to do to check it. If something's
luckily
crashing.
The audience helps sometimes. I was watching, so that's good.
But I know myself. I know
right.
that the technical side. If I teamed up with somebody who is Johnny Tech,
in the old days,
I wouldn't have any problem. In other words, let's say that Random Neighborhood Kid said, look, we're going to be doing this. He could almost be running a sweatshop with me doing, assuming I didn't have the day job, doing auctions 8 hours a day. If he's got everything hooked up. And the other thing I don't necessarily like picking the lots out and packing the lots. I really don't enjoy that. But if Random Neighborhood Kid
I like picking the lots out and creating the lots and going through them, because I have so many comics. It's just fun to see them again. Hey, I think this will sell. And you see if it does sell,
See, and I know myself. I know that I could sit there and I could do an 8-hour auction, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Do you think I could talk for 8 hours?
Absolutely.
That's my strength.
Yeah.
And I know that. But I know the technical side's what's holding me back. I know and it's the same thing when I'm out at flea markets and things like that. In the old days, and you were the same way, not at flea markets, but in general, in the old days, it was tough to pass up a deal.
Still very hard. A good deal. It's hard, right now, it's hard to pass up a good deal now. If it's a good deal or a rare, once in a lifetime thing. Obviously.
Well, but it depends what it is, though. And that's where I am getting slowly better at walking by projects, what I call projects.
Yeah.
Because I know myself.
Yeah.
And there have been a couple of deals that I've looked at and I've said, that is such a good deal. But I don't want to touch it because I never will get it listed. Right. I remember
and there's more factors than just that. Even if the price is near free, the storage. We have that deal in New Jersey, near Connecticut. It sounds like a great deal, but we don't have the room right now for it. So what's the point of spending all that money, renting the truck, bringing it back, and then where are we putting it? We're not listing it anytime soon. So it's a great deal is not a great deal if it's just going to sit around and you don't have room for it.
Right, but you know yourself in that now, whereas years ago you would have said, I can cram it in somewhere. I could fit it somewhere.
And I think I still can if I really wanted to, but I have other deals in the works that I would prefer to have that are maybe a little smaller, a little easier, worth more money, whatever, So.
And I believe the deal that I was looking at was a bunch of prints. And the price was right. They were old 1800s prints. I know they would sell. But I said, I don't enjoy listing them. And the nice thing about them is they don't take up a lot of room. Prints do not take up a lot of room by any means whatsoever. So that's a positive side about it. But I said, I do not like listing them. I don't know a lot about them.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to get $10 to $15 a piece, and I'm probably paying 50 cents a piece on them. It's not the right deal for me because I know myself. Whereas if that were a pile of French magazines from the 1880s, I'm all over it because I do enjoy listing that. I enjoy the history. I enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
That I would list. The car magazines, if they're free, I generally don't want them just because.
Well, I bought that one deal that was almost free. It was like $500 for 10, 20,000. And they're in a pod that luckily I'm not paying for, but they're just sitting in a pod, and I'll never get to them. I guarantee I'll never get to them in a lifetime. I really would, unless I cherry pick through them or whatever. But another thing for knowing yourself, and I think for me it might be the biggest thing, and that was the one thing I had to think about before even committing to the show 2 years ago, is the commitment. Like, it's hard for me to want to say like I have to do this every Wednesday at 7:30. So Whatnot's the same type of thing. It's like, I guess you don't have to, but it's better if you do.
It's better, yeah.
And I have to find a time where, we both work a lot of hours. We get up 3, 4 in the morning. I come home 5, 6. I really don't want to do any more work. And right now I can't find time during the day to do it. If I want to do it 2 o'clock every day or 3 o'clock, there's always something going on where I might get pulled away. I got the laundromat. There could be issues there. My kids play sports in the evening. It could be numerous other things. And I hate having the commitment where no matter what, I have to do this. It's hard enough for me to commit Wednesdays. And we talked about, every now and then there might be something coming up. So it's, you give me the green light or whatever. But for Whatnot, I think it will work out if I do the 5:30s. Because I'm thinking about Thursday at 5:30. It's right in between, I'm done at 6:30. I still got time to relax. My day at work is done. So I'd have to pick a time like that for me to continue doing it. If it was 8 o'clock at night, if that's prime time, I think I would be miserable. And you see me sometimes where I come here and I've had a busy day or something's going on, I'm distracted and I'm not my usual self, or sometimes I'm half asleep because I was up all day. So, so to me, it's just that commitment sometimes. I don't like saying, hey, I have to stop my whole life and do this, even though it's fun and I want to make the money or whatever. It's just hard for me. I think that's my biggest thing.
Right, but that's pretty important too, though, because you know yourself.
Right.
Because
as much I could lie to you and say, I want to do it, and then in my head I start doing it and then I'm miserable, or I don't want to. I'm not doing a good job at it, or maybe I'm not. I'm very quiet doing the Whatnot because I had a bad day. The laundromat flooded, and I really don't feel like doing this, but I'm committed to doing it, and I got to push it through. So, but for me, I think that's the biggest thing for me. But I think that that 5, 6 o'clock timeline will work, for me to do it long term.
Well, and I'll give the perfect example. I absolutely know. I've gone to Madison Bachville any number of times. I absolutely know that I could make if I took the time, say after I retired, where I actually had a little bit of time, if I took the time and set up out there with a table or a couple of tables, and everything is $1. And I had comic books, and I had brochures, and
thousands.
I had...
You would make thousands of dollars. I'd do this. I'd sit right next to you with sports cards, comics, toys, figures, whatever, and I could care less. Obviously I'm not going to put a $50 toy or comic out there, but, $5, $10 one, sure, why not?
And I know that I could make good money. Do you know why I will never do that?
I don't know why.
It's if you do the fall show or the August show, it's essentially 9 to 10 days. What the people generally do, they've got campers or sleeping in their van.
You have to do it, or you have to do the whole time?
No, you don't have to, but people do.
Yeah.
They're sleeping in their van or their camper. I'm too old and pampered at this point for that. I would end up getting
They have some nice campers though nowadays.
I'm sure they do.
Very nice and very easy to operate.
But I know myself. I would end up with a hotel, and I would end up using all my profits on the hotel, driving back and forth to the hotel every day, eating well. So the end of the thing. Go ahead.
$2 table.
Ooh, I hadn't thought of that.
You can afford that hotel and afford the state, surf and turf. See, if you're going to pay $1, you might pay it $2.
That's true too.
Or we have 2 tables, $1 table, a $2, $3. See, we're onto something here.
But I know myself, and I know that I would not do it. I know I would be absolutely miserable doing it. So I see the money to be made. Absolutely no doubt whatsoever. I would do very, very well doing it, but I know myself enough to not do it, to not commit to it, to not even try it, because I know myself.
Yeah.
In the past, years ago, you did it as well. We set up down at the local flea market. Oh, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. You sit there, you got to drag the tables down, you set them all up, you put all the stuff out on the table. No customer comes around, then I end up buying more stuff than I end up selling, which is great because you're there all day. But you're bored, you're walking around, you buy stuff, and you end up, how can I not get everything back in the van? Oh, that's right, because I bought these 9 boxes of stuff.
Yeah. Well, my problem is I bring the stuff that they don't want, and the stuff they do want, I left back at the shop. So.
But I know myself. I know I'm not going to set up at it. Another thing that I've tried in the past a couple of different times, and I know I'm never going to try it again.
Meth.
I've never tried that, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't try it again.
I'm just guessing.
You got a good guess, though. Is an antique mall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I will never bring stuff there often enough.
Right.
So my stuff gets old.
You have to be retired. Most of these people are retired, or it's their job, so they put a lot of time, dedicate a lot of time. Well, you remember when I was across the street, for a while when it was new, people were coming, everything was priced, and after a while I didn't replenish my stuff.
Yep.
And the people replenishing their stuff are still making the money, and my sales are dipping into almost nothing. And then you get out of it. You got to maintain it, and just don't have the time.
No, and it was nothing that I wanted to do. But I know myself at this point, and I will never fall into that trap of signing up on a cheap antique show.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
On the whatnots, how long are you willing to go with, say, sales being
Forever.
under $100?
Forever.
And what's the reason?
Because I know myself, and I'm loyal, and I would just keep doing it because I would think that it's going to change around the bend. And the other thing too is I believe that as time goes on, even if the sales don't increase, I think I would get a core group of people that would be coming every week and commenting and talking, and it would almost become like a coffee club.
Sure.
And I would get some enjoyment out of that, so-and-so's here, so-and-so's here, and just kind of talking with them and whatever throughout it, and they'd get laughs out of the dumb jokes I make between items and that. But that ties right into the theme. I know myself. Yeah. I know that I'm going to do it.
Right.
We've got on the YouTube, if you go on the community tab, I put up a post every day. I have put up a post every day for, I don't know, 9 months. I've done an Instagram every day for a year.
First I heard of this mysterious post.
I've done Instagram every day for whatever, 9 months, a year, whatever it is. Every day I do it, I just do it. If I'm going away on vacation, you can schedule the posts. I have the posts scheduled so they show up. It's just, but I know myself. I know that is exactly how I am. Every morning I have to find something to put up on a post to talk about. I have to.
So you're going to do YouTube sales, auctions, and Facebook.
And whatnot, yes.
And whatnot. And no matter what, you're not quitting any of them no matter what.
Well, I wouldn't say no matter what.
Well,
obviously, health or that kind of thing.
You said whatnot. You're going to, if all your sales stay in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Assuming, again, as long as I'm not, unhealthy or something like that.
Well,
obviously, I'm not going to be lying.
You're not doing it for the money is what I'm saying.
No, I'm not going to be lying.
If you're going to spend 2 hours a week on whatnot, 2 hours for YouTube, 2 hours for that, that's 6 hours, and you're making $100 a week, you could make $100 listing one item on eBay if you chose to, So obviously it's not the money for that.
No, right. I mean, obviously, if I have to have emergency heart surgery, it's like, doctor, while you're wheeling me in there, is there any way you can put a camera on me? So the next item we have up.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Scalpel. But that's where I know myself, and I know what I'm going to do going in. And so if you know yourself, you can save yourself so much trouble throughout life because you're not going to take on unrealistic things that don't work for you. I know this video is going long, but it's a really good topic. Out of the two of us, which one is more risk averse and which one is more willing to take risks?
Oh, I think I take more risks.
You most certainly do.
And I think that's my financial position where sometimes, in the past, I've been struggling for money and it's like, hey, I'm either going to go bad or take a shot. And I've been very lucky sometimes with some of these deals and risks I take. But, yeah.
Whereas I'm the other way. I'm going to make $2 a day forever. And I'm never going to be rich, but I'm never going to be destitute. I can get to comfortable in my life because, I paid $1 for this and I'm selling it for $27. I'm never taking the chance of paying $1,000 on something that might be worth $8,000 or might be worth $500. I'm just never going to do that.
Yeah.
But I know myself, so I walk right by those kind of deals.
Sure.
It's saved me so much grief because if I bought something for $1,000, I would have such agita. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night worried about and in the grand scheme of things, what's $1,000?
Right.
But I wouldn't be able to sleep at night worried. I'll tell you the perfect example, and then we'll have you hit the like button. We have online gambling in New York State, and at the Super Bowl, it wasn't the Super Bowl. It was when the Bengals played. Who'd they play in the championship game? This is fascinating. Anybody not a football fan? No, the championship. Was it the Chiefs or who was it? Whoever they played in the championship game.
They beat the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, and the Chiefs jumped out to that big lead. I said, I don't have any doubt at all. If I take the Bengals with the points, I'm going to win. I just have this feeling I'm going to win. Mm-hmm. I was thinking of betting $5.
Yeah.
I did not make the bet. And I am so happy that I did not, because if you remember, they were down by like 17 or 20 or some crazy amount at halftime. I would have had such anxiety. Why did I waste $5? Even though in the end I would have won.
Right.
But I know myself. So I don't make that bet, because why do I want to stay awake nights over $5? My health is worth more than that. Because even had it turned out right, I would have won $5.
Jeez.
But I know myself. So that's probably the most important thing. Know yourself. You can avoid so many problems in your own life. Just step back, see how you are, know how you are, realize that you're probably leaving some opportunities on the table. You're probably passing some opportunities by. But so what? You can sleep at night and you still can make a buck.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. So I'm sorry it went a little bit long this time, but it was a fun topic. Hit the like button. We will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.